Hey guys, Kyle, the Death Knight of Anime here, bringing you my review for My Hero Academia, Chapter 203. And right off the bat, I'm sorry this one's late, guys. It's just, if I'm being honest, after I did the One Piece review last night, I kind of, I pretty much, I was after I did the One Piece review last night. I was basically up. I was basically up late. I was extremely late last night. I pretty much playing World of Warcraft and Sims 4. So yeah, that's the reason why this is late is because even after even after I tried to get a good sleep last night, I was still pretty tired. So yeah, that's pretty much the reason I tried. After I had a shower, though, it got a little better. But yeah, that's pretty much the reason. Having said that, now let's uh let's get right into it. And first off, I like how the whole scene with Endeavor played out in the beginning because it gave us both a heartfelt moment of showing pretty much of Endeavor having genuine remorse over his past actions, but also a little bit of comedy to top it off. And I'm sure that there will be some who find the transition of Endeavor being just so remorseful and so emotional to him having that one comedic moment a little bit jarring, I'm sure, but it worked well for me because the two following moments of the one sidekick's comment about Endeavor's obsessive behavior and Todoroki's sneezing were just both hilariously executed in terms of timing, like just in terms of the transition between serious and 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 between serious and comedic. It was perfect timing on that. It wasn't as perfect as say something like One Piece would do with its comedy, but it was still a pretty perfectly timed moment for sure. And on a more serious note, pretty much about the scene with Endeavor in the beginning. We are definitely getting more. The one thing I liked about that scene is that it gave us a lot more reinforcement of the fact that Endeavor is still going through a change. He's going through a transition after the battle with High End, and if what we're seeing as of right now is just him of going through the motions and the metamorphosis of that change, then again I set it back in the I set it back in the I set it pretty much back in the chapter that had the like aftermath of the fight with High End, but I almost dare say that but it does that if Endeavor is still going through this change, then I almost dare to say that by the end of it, we will pretty much have a greater symbol of peace out of Endeavor than All Might ever was. Like, again, I already said that after the Battle of High End, but if he's still going through, if he's still going pretty much through all these changes and this transition of him being a true symbol of peace, then I like it almost has me scared of what kind of a hero that Endeavor is going to become when he finally when all of his development is finally concluded. And and the chapter and the thing is the chapter does seem to indicate that there's still a lot more development to come in terms of Endeavor, although it's when Endeavor finally reaches the conclusion of his development that I think is when it's really gonna all start paying off. Which I think from the way it's being set up, I think the conclusion of his development is gonna be when pretty much when pretty much he and Todoroki and his and the other members of his family pretty much finally pretty much burying all the heavy stuff that they went through in the past. I think his final reconciliation with his family is gonna be like this. Is gonna be the final it's gonna be the final thing for it all. And one thing I thought was surprising. Now, okay, the thing about this chapter for me is that one thing I thought was surprisingly kind of lacking about the chapter is that there wasn't enough focus on Todoroki and Tetsu in this fight. in this chapter, which I get in the sense of that it's a team battle, so you have to balance things out a little more. But the chapter as a whole just felt like it was a little too busy and was more focused on giving introductions to Class B's quirks than anything else. And it's not to say that they didn't have their moments, because both Tetsu and Todoroki pretty much definitely pretty much ended up having their moments in this chapter for sure. But overall, I just feel the action could have been better executed in a way that's a lot more focused on both Tetsu and Todoroki, without even losing out on all the other stuff. So the problem I have, I think, comes down to comes down to trying to figure out of what way the chapter could have worked in a have your cake and eat it too sense. And I know that and I know that in a way that has kind of been the formula of all the other previous chapters too, but somehow all those other chapters, they still managed to keep at least somewhat of a good balance of all that. They somewhat managed to maintain a bit of a decent enough balance in those previous chapters. But with this chapter in particular, it really just felt extremely busy, and there wasn't enough of a focus on at least one thing or one fight or just having all completely spread out evenly. Like, I think, like, everyone was just kind of everyone just felt a little cluttered together, I guess, is the problem I have with it. and I guess to that end, though, a lot of the problems with this chapter, they do kind of stem from just how short this chapter and honestly just the past couple chapters have been. So I hope everything is all right with Horikoshi, because basically these pretty much 12 and 4 these from 12 to 14 page chapters we're getting kind of scare me, in the sense where this was something that, like, this basically reduced chapter load. This was something that the author of The Gray Man pretty much started doing after it was revealed that she had some, like, I think it was arthritis problems. And while I can't say that is probably the exact same case, it still does make me wonder if Shonen Jump is allowing Horikoshi to in fact is allowing Horikoshi to pretty much are limiting the amount of pages he does on his chapters in order for Horikoshi to better manage the story better or something like that. Like, something I think is definitely going on with Horikoshi and Shonen Jump. And yeah, the only thing that makes sense, again, like I said, the only thing that makes sense right now is that Horikoshi is that Shonen Jump is allowing Horikoshi to pretty much do a bit more of a limited amount of pages in order to better manage the story or something like that. That's the only thing I can think of. And if I had to guess the way, it probably traces back to pretty much the first time that Horikoshi the first time that Horikoshi fell ill. That's the only thing I can think of. And of course, that's not to say that there weren't amazing moments in this chapter, because there definitely were. And of course, the cream of the crop amazing moment in this chapter was with Iida, and the reveal that he has trained himself where he can use his pretty much Recipro burst even more than once, which that in itself is impressive. But I'm even more curious of what else he's learned, because the thing about Iida's quirk to me is that he's always been one of those characters where I see a lot of diverse potential of what kind of techniques he can use, and what kind of technique, what kind of skills he can develop with it. So yeah, I really want to see if using Recipro burst pretty much more than once is the only thing he can do, or if he's developed a couple of other tricks on the side that I really want to know about. Because yeah, with Iida, he's kind of always been that one character that, yeah, I want to see what kind of skills that this guy develops. And yeah, it's just I want to know I want to know as to what skills he developed and how, if he has developed as to what other skills he developed and what other techniques he can use in conjunction with Todoroki. So yeah, it's from here. I'm just I've got all eyes on Iida, but yeah, hopefully we end up getting a lot more of Todoroki and Tetsu in the coming chapters as well. But yeah, guys, with that said, that's all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Mr. Crunchyroll. Death Knight of Anime, signing off. Later, guys.